My husband, Liam, and I had been married for 3 years. We ran a small marketing firm together, a venture born from our shared dreams. Our life was comfortable, full of love and laughter. Then, shortly after I became pregnant, his ex-wife, Isabella, returned from overseas with their son. From that moment on, my world tilted on its axis. A single phone call from her, and Liam would drop everything and race to her side. A parent-teacher conference for their son, Leo. A school field day. Leo's birthday. A runny nose. A craving for a specific snack. Each time, it was an event for the three of them, a perfect little family portrait with me on the outside looking in. I finally reached my breaking point, but my outburst was met with his cold reprimand. Leo is my son, Evelyn. Can you stop being so selfish? You're about to be a mother yourself. You should be trying to build up some good karma for our child. Later, when his son deliberately tripped me, causing me to go into premature labor, Liam was still defending them. My heart, already fractured, turned to ice. I slid a signed divorce agreement across the table to him. Liam's face was a mask of annoyance. He's just a child, Evelyn. What does he know? The baby is fine, isn't she? You want a divorce over something so trivial? On the day we signed the papers, the quiet hospital room was filled only with Liam's dismissive laughter. Leo is just a child. What could he possibly know? And you and the baby are fine now. Why are you dragging this out over something so small? I sat opposite him, my gaze cold, my voice dripping with a sarcasm I didn't know I possessed. You're right. He's just a child. He knows nothing. He only knows what his elders teach him. Evelyn, it was an accident. You and the baby are both okay. Why can't you let it go? We have a good life. Why throw it all away with this divorce nonsense? You're being completely irrational. A good life? Irrational? I closed my eyes. It turns out that when you are utterly speechless, you really do laugh. The asset division is detailed on the back pages. The child is mine. You will pay monthly child support. A divorce is impossible. Don't even think about it. Liam's protest was cut short by the ringing of his phone. I heard Isabella's voice, laced with feigned panic, through the receiver. Liam, you have to come quickly. Leo keeps having nightmares. I think he was traumatized by seeing your wife fall. He needs you. You stay with him. I'm on my way. Liam hung up and immediately turned his glare on me. Look what you've done. It was a minor fall, a premature birth, but you had to scream. And make a scene. Now Leo is so scared he can't even sleep. If this causes him any psychological damage, I will never forgive you. A bitter laugh escaped me, and my eyes burned with unshed, angry tears. A minor fall? Screaming? Liam, are you deaf? Did you not hear the doctor say it was a premature and difficult birth? That if I had arrived 1 minute later, we both would have died? It was your precious son who intentionally stuck his leg out to trip me, you blind, heartless fool. If anything had happened to my daughter, I would have never forgiven any of you. Evelyn, I never knew you could be so petty and cruel. You've disappointed me more than I can say. With that, he stormed out of the room, slamming the door behind him. I was left alone. My poor, premature daughter was still in an incubator in the NICU. And my wonderful husband hadn't asked about her condition even once. Now, at the beck and call of his ex-wife, he had abandoned us again. What was the point of a marriage like this? My hand, clenched at my side, twisted the bedsheet until my knuckles were white. The dam of my restraint finally broke, and I wept. Liam and I met on a blind date. The matchmaker had told me beforehand that he was divorced. I was hesitant, but my mother, swayed by the matchmaker's glowing praises, pushed me to go. As fate would have it, our meeting was dramatic. I saw an elderly woman fall while crossing the street. It was the middle of winter, and she lay there. On the snowy ground, her head bleeding. My conscience wouldn't let me walk away, but the moment I helped her up, she accused me of pushing her. Just as I was trapped, unable to defend myself, Liam appeared, holding up his phone. He had recorded the whole thing, clearing my name instantly. It turned out he was my blind date. We started talking, and a connection grew. 6 months later, we were a couple. 2 months after our parents met, we were married. After the wedding, we started our own small company, and life was good. He was kind to me, and his occasional surprises filled me with a sweet, simple joy. My love for him deepened with each passing day. After 2 years of just the two of us, we were finally blessed with a child. Like any expectant couple, we were filled with anticipation. He would massage my swollen ankles every night and cook endless variations of meals to tempt my morning sickness-ravaged appetite. This blissful period shattered when I was 6 months pregnant. Isabella and Leo returned to the country. The day she arrived, Liam was with me for a prenatal checkup. He took a call, and then simply said, "Something urgent came up. I have to go. Be careful on your own." Then he was gone. He didn't come home that night. I called him several times, but each call went straight to voicemail. Worried something had happened at the office, I called an employee, only to be told Liam hadn't been in all day. Finally, in the dead of night, I woke from a daze on the sofa to the sound of the door opening. Our eyes met. He looked surprised for a second. "Why are you still up? Why didn't you answer my calls? What happened?" "It's nothing. Isabella and Leo are back. She asked me to pick them up. That little rascal wouldn't let go of me, insisting I take him to the amusement park. I just got him to sleep and rushed back. Isabella and I are exhausted." He said it all so casually, stripping off his clothes and giving me a perfunctory kiss. "Go to bed. I'll join you after a shower." His ex-wife was back. He took their son to an amusement park. Why couldn't he have just told me? Why ignore my calls and leave me simmering with worry? I was more hurt than angry, and I let it go. But it wasn't a one-time thing. Isabella started calling constantly. Parent-teacher conferences. School activities. Leo misses his daddy. Leo wants his daddy's cooking. Leo, Leo, Leo. Though every request was framed around their son, it was always the three of them together. I tried to swallow my resentment, telling myself it was his duty as a father. I tried talking to him about it multiple times, but he was always dismissive. One night, the sharp ring of his phone jolted us awake. Liam muttered, "I'll be right there," and started getting dressed. I switched on the light, sitting up and cradling my belly. "What's wrong?" Isabella said Leo is sick. "It sounds urgent. I'm going to check on them. You go back to sleep, don't wait up." His words made me anxious too. I told him to drive carefully and sat up in bed, sleep now impossible. At 3 a.m., he still wasn't back. I decided to call. The phone rang for a long time, and just as it was about to go to voicemail, someone picked up. "Honey, how's Leo? Is it serious? When are you coming home?" A woman's voice answered. "Are you Liam's current wife?" I froze for a second before realizing it was Isabella. She continued, her voice syrupy sweet. "Liam has been with Leo all night. It got so late, he decided to just sleep here. If there's nothing else, I'm going to hang up. I'm quite tired." She hung up before I could say a word. I sat there, holding the phone, for how long I don't know, until a system notification beeped, shaking me from my stupor. A suffocating anger rose in me. I remembered Liam mentioning where Isabella had rented a house. At dawn, I went there. When I knocked, Isabella answered the door wearing a slinky silk nightgown, her cleavage on full display, her face made up perfectly. I clenched my fists and pushed past her without a word. She didn't try to stop me, just leaned against the wall with a smirk, as if settling in to watch a good show. "Liam." In the dining room, Liam, also in pajamas, was eating breakfast with a little boy. My shout made him jump. He dropped his fork and rushed over, taking my hand. "Honey, what are you doing here?" I took a deep breath, fighting to control my fury. I looked at the boy. I heard Leo was sick. I came to see if he's feeling better. "Leo, he's..." Before Liam could finish, Isabella interjected, positioning herself at his side. "Oh, it was just a little cold, a few sneezes." I only mentioned it to him, and look how worried he got, driving over in the middle of the night. The boy fell asleep right after taking some medicine. I told him to go home, but he insisted on staying, just in case. Seeing her victorious smile, I finally snapped. I yanked my hand away from Liam. "You are married to me. Who do you know that stays so entangled with their ex-wife? If you three are a family, then I'll leave." At that time, Liam was still afraid of my anger. He promised it would never happen again and blocked all of Isabella's contact information right in front of me. Our life seemed to return to normal. When I was 6 months pregnant, I stopped going to the office to rest at home. Liam started leaving early and coming home late more and more often. When I questioned him, he was evasive. One evening, as he was about to leave after another phone call, I pressed him until he finally admitted it was Leo. Isabella was out for a work dinner, and the boy was scared to be home alone. Hearing the reason, I didn't stop him. Because of this, Liam started going to Isabella's more and more openly. A month passed like this. I didn't want to fight with him constantly and strain our relationship, so I thought of a compromise. We could have Leo stay with us when Isabella was busy. I mentioned this idea to my best friend, Clara, while we were shopping. She was vehemently against it. She argued that Leo was a cunning child, and being a stepmother was a thankless job. If Leo and I didn't get along, given how much Liam cared for him now, he would undoubtedly side with his son, right or wrong, which would damage our relationship even more. As if on cue, we ran into Isabella and Leo in that very mall. I didn't want a confrontation and turned to leave, but then I caught sight of Liam out of the corner of my eye. He was holding 2 ice cream cones, giving one to each of them. He then gently wiped a smudge from Isabella's lips and, to my horror, took a lick from her cone. I couldn't breathe. A sharp pain lanced through my chest. I had calculated every possibility, but I never imagined Liam would be the type to go back for seconds. I'd heard he and Isabella had divorced because she had cheated on him. When Liam saw me, he panicked and started stammering an explanation. But Isabella just gave me a provocative smirk, and even Leo started taunting me. "You bad woman. If it weren't for you, my mom and dad wouldn't have to meet in secret every day. Bad woman, old hag, I'm telling you, daddy only loves mommy. Meeting in secret every day?" Liam had been seeing Isabella every single day. A bucket of ice water washed over me, chilling me to the bone. How laughable. I thought he was doing it for his son, even considering bringing the boy into our home. It turned out the person he wanted to see was the boy's mother. "Evelyn, listen to me, he's just a child, he's making things up, you can't believe him." I looked at him, at the smear of ice cream still on his lips, and the pain in my heart intensified, like a fine, sharp needle pricking a nerve. I summoned all my strength and slapped him across the face. "Shut up." Tears streamed down my face uncontrollably. "Evelyn, your baby." Clara reminded me, her voice tight with concern. "Clara, let's go. This place makes me sick." I clutched my belly, wiping away my tears. But as I turned, I saw a small, black shoe dart out in front of me. It was Leo. My foot was already in motion, coming down. It was too late. At 8 months pregnant, my body was heavy and clumsy. I couldn't react in time. Leo's foot caught mine, and my body pitched forward. "Evelyn." That was 3 days after my C-section. And Liam was once again with Isabella and her son. Clara was supposed to be looking after me, but her boss had sent her on an urgent business trip she couldn't refuse. My own parents were elderly and lived far away. I didn't want to worry them by telling them what had happened. Liam's parents had visited once, on the first day. When they heard I'd had a daughter, they just pursed their lips and left, and hadn't been back since. Thankfully, I had pre-booked an excellent maternity nurse. The divorce agreement still lay on the bedside table. I stared out the window, my heart aching for my daughter. A week later, I was discharged, but my daughter had to remain in the hospital for observation. The doctor assured me she was out of danger and had a strong latch when she fed, her little mouth working with surprising vigor. Since I was divorcing Liam, there was no reason to go back to our house. It was his property, purchased before our marriage. I had already rented a small apartment. But when I opened the door to my old home to collect my things, I was greeted by a scene of utter chaos. The maternity nurse whispered, "Miss Hale, were you robbed?" I didn't answer, just walked straight in. From the living room to the bathroom, my belongings were strewn everywhere. On closer inspection, I realized it was only my things. Even the photos in the living room had been smashed. As I reached the bedroom door, a small figure burst out. It was Leo. He looked startled to see me, his small hands hiding something behind his back. He was only 5, his guilt written all over his face. "What are you doing here?" My voice was cold. I had no patience for this child who could so maliciously trip a pregnant woman. Leo snorted, tilting his chin up defiantly. "Daddy said Mommy and I are going to live here from now on." Liam's repeated coldness and deceit had already extinguished my love for him. But why did those words still hurt? It felt like a giant hand was squeezing my heart, twisting it. Watching Leo skip away, I took a few deep breaths and entered the bedroom. The sight that met my eyes made the world go dark. The wedding portrait, everything on my vanity, even the duvet from the bed, was on the floor. The duvet was soaked with water. A dreadful thought occurred to me, and I pulled open the wardrobe. Just as I suspected. Every single one of my clothes had been drenched in red ink. It looked like a murder scene. The maternity nurse was so shocked she was about to call the police until I stopped her. "What a wicked child. An adult must have put him up to this," she muttered angrily, about to start cleaning. I stopped her. Liam always said his son was just a child, incapable of lying or malice. Today, he would see for himself what his son had done. When Liam came home, I was sitting on the living room sofa. Isabella was at his side. "Evelyn Hale, what did you do to my son?" she shrieked. "He's just a child. How could you hit him?" "What? Evelyn, you hit my son?" Liam pulled Leo over, checking him from head to toe, only relaxing when he saw no injuries. I watched their family drama with a faint, mocking smile. "I'd like to ask you, Miss Bell, what makes you think I hit your son?" Because Leo called me. He said you were bullying him." "Leo is just a child. What does he know? You can't believe the things children say." I repeated their own words back to them, savoring each syllable. Isabella gritted her teeth in fury. "First, come and see what your son has done," I said calmly. Only then did Liam seem to notice the wreckage around him. "What happened here?" I shrugged. "Glaring at me won't help. It was like this when I got here. Your son was the only one home. He also said you told him he could move in." At that moment, the nurse brought out a pile of clothes from the bedroom. "Mr. Thorne, please take a look." Liam stared at the heap of clothes stained with red ink. His own white shirts were particularly conspicuous. I hadn't lied, his son had done all of this. I had merely taken the liberty of placing Liam's most expensive suits and ties in the same pile. Our company was small, we didn't have multi-million-dollar contracts, but a man needed a few decent suits for business meetings. 2 suits, worth tens of thousands, were ruined. "Leo, what is the meaning of this?" Liam roared. The shout startled the guilty child, who whimpered and hid behind Isabella. "Why are you yelling at him? It's just a few clothes." Isabella shot Liam a disapproving look, then turned her venom on me. "Evelyn, you're a mother too. Kids this age are mischievous. Are you really going to make a big deal out of this?" Her audacity made me laugh. "You're right, I am a mother. I have a child. So how do you plan to account for your son tripping me?" These people, my silence had only made them bolder. I had tolerated their nonsense for Leo's sake before, and all it got me was them walking all over me. Liam, still fuming about his ruined suits, sat on the sofa in stony silence. Isabella, finding no support, went for broke. She shoved Leo forward. "Fine. It was Leo who tripped you. So what? He's right here. If you want revenge, go ahead. Hit him. Beat him to death. Leo, only 5, had never seen such a scene. He burst into tears, trying to cling to his mother, but she kept pushing him away. "Mommy, Mommy, don't leave me." I knew it was all a performance for my benefit. I sat there quietly, watching, saying nothing. What does a child know? They only learn from what adults teach them. Enough. Liam was the first to break. "Both of you, get out of my house." He pushed a stunned Isabella and her wailing son out the door. "Silence. Evelyn." Liam sat down, reaching for my hand. I pulled it away. I took the divorce agreement from my bag and handed it to him. "Sign it." He stared at me, his brow furrowed in disbelief. "Evelyn, it's been days. Why are you still on about this? Can we please stop fighting? Why do you assume I'm the one who's always fighting?" Okay, my mistake. Evelyn, let's not get divorced. Our daughter was just born. Do you want her to grow up without a father? Think about how happy we were, how we looked forward to her arrival. Now she's here, and she deserves a life with both her parents. Yes, in the early days of my pregnancy, Liam would come home on time every day, handle all the cooking and chores, and lie with his head on my belly, talking and singing to our baby. I used to tease him, saying it wasn't his first time being a father. What was it he had said then? He said that love often feels like a debt. He loved me, but he felt he didn't deserve someone as good as me, being a divorced man. The only thing he could do was try his best to be good to me and our child, to protect us from harm. I had been so moved back then. But after his ex-wife returned, everything changed. He had reached a point where he considered the life-or-death situation of his wife and newborn daughter to be a trivial matter. From that moment, my heart had died. Looking at him now, he was both familiar and a complete stranger. "The divorce agreement is there for you. I'm moving out today. The company we built together is half mine. Our shared assets will be split 50-50. This house was yours. Before the marriage, even though we paid the mortgage together, I don't want it. I want full custody of our daughter. The child support amount is detailed on the last page." Liam refused to agree to the divorce, dragging it out for another 2 weeks. During that time, I was recovering and visiting our daughter at the hospital frequently. The doctor said her condition was improving steadily, and she could be discharged in a few days with careful home care. I ate mountains of food, hoping to breastfeed her when she came home. On the day of her discharge, Liam was there. A nurse mentioned he had been visiting the baby often. That surprised me, but it didn't change my mind about the divorce. He held the car door open for me. This time, I didn't refuse. The baby was still so fragile, his car was safer than a taxi. When we arrived at my rented apartment, Liam held the baby, only emerging after he had rocked her to sleep. "Evelyn, look at our daughter. She looks so much like you. She's beautiful. Let's go to the Civil Affairs Bureau tomorrow and finalize the divorce. Stop dragging this out." My words froze the smile on his face. "Evelyn, must you be so heartless? Can't you give me one more chance? I gave you chances before. In return, you disregarded my life and the life of our child while desperately defending someone else." Liam looked at me, his shoulders slumping in defeat. The next day at the bureau, I learned there was a mandatory 30-day cooling-off period after filing. Liam actually smiled, grabbing my hand and refusing to let go. "Evelyn, I promise I won't disappoint you during these 30 days. I was foolish before. From now on, I'll be good to you and the baby." I didn't even bother to look at him. "Just remember to bring your documents in 30 days, I said, turning and walking out. Liam did try to behave, but his daily visits were exhausting. He brought toys, diapers, and clothes for the baby, and supplements for me. I kept the things for the baby, it was his responsibility as a father. I made him take back everything he brought for me. My daughter, whom I nicknamed Lily, grew quickly, changing every day. Liam genuinely seemed to love her. Perhaps in an attempt to mend things, he brought his mother and Leo over one day. I was initially hesitant to let Leo near Lily, and I hadn't forgotten his mother's disdainful expression at the hospital. Evelyn, my mom is getting old, she wants to see her granddaughter. Even if we divorce, I'm still the baby's father, and she's her grandmother. Liam pleaded. Evelyn, I want to see Lily. I haven't seen my granddaughter since she was born. Your father-in-law is waiting at home for me to send him pictures, his mother added, her tone uncharacteristically soft. Seeing them so humbled, my heart softened, and I let them in. I watched them like a hawk, terrified something would go wrong. Liam's mother pulled a small gold locket from her pocket and placed it around Lily's neck. My darling granddaughter, she cooed, this is a little something from your grandparents. Wear this little gold locket, and you'll grow up healthy and safe. They stayed a while longer and then left. That night, Lily started crying inconsolably. I thought she was hungry, but she refused to eat. As I was changing her diaper, I saw a large red patch on her neck. Lifting her clothes, I saw her shoulders and stomach were covered in a dense rash of tiny red bumps. Terrified, I rushed her to the hospital with a nurse. After a series of tests, the doctor diagnosed a severe allergic reaction to heavy metals. Heavy metals? Lily was so small, and I had personally bought all her things. Where could they have come from? As I racked my brain, my eyes fell on the small gold locket around her neck. Looking closely, the color of the metal seemed different. It looks like the color has faded a bit, the nurse confirmed. My heart sank. So that was it. No wonder his mother, who so clearly favored boys, had suddenly been so generous. After a night of 4 drips, the allergy was under control. We were discharged the next morning. Back home, I settled Lily with the nurse. And took a taxi to Liam's parents' house. I knew the code. As I entered, I was greeted by the sound of their happy family laughter. My appearance startled his mother. What are you doing here? I raised an eyebrow. Did you do something to feel guilty about? Evelyn, is that any way to talk to your mother? Liam stepped in front of me, a forced smile on his face. Evelyn, why are you here at this hour? My anger peaked. Liam, are you pretending or do you really not know? Your mother gave Lily a fake metal locket, and she was hospitalized last night for heavy metal poisoning. What? Liam turned to his mother. Mom, what's going on? Did you really give her a fake? Fake? How could it be fake? I spent a lot of money on it. Don't you dare accuse me. Who knows if you just didn't take proper care of the child and are trying to blame me. I won't take the fall for this. Seeing her still trying to lie, I threw the locket at her. See for yourself. Your gold has faded. Leo picked up the fallen locket from behind her and started playing with it. His grandmother snatched it away and tossed it aside as if it were poison. That's when I noticed Leo was wearing a similar gold locket around his neck. I pulled him closer and saw the jeweler's stamp on his. I laughed. What are you doing? Let go of my grandson, his mother shrieked, pulling Leo away. You didn't have to give her anything if you didn't want to. I never asked you for it. Why is Leo's real and my daughter's is fake? You knew Lily was premature. That the doctor said she couldn't afford to get sick. Now you put her in the hospital with an allergic reaction. What exactly were you trying to do? My poor little girl. Harmed in the womb by their malicious son, and now nearly killed by her own grandmother. The thought sent waves of pain through my chest. Mom, what is going on? Liam demanded. His mother finally exploded. All you do is ask me what's going on? I did it for you. She's a girl, a waste of money. You only have one son, Leo. All your money should go to him. That money pit doesn't deserve it. Mom, how can you say that? Lily is my daughter too. Your own granddaughter. What good is that? Only a grandson can carry on the family name. Only Leo should spend your money. Everything your father and I have is for Leo. Unable to reason with his mother, Liam turned to me. Evelyn, how is Lily now? I'll go with you to see her. I clenched my fists, fighting the urge to slap him again. I forced the words out through my teeth. I'll see you at the Civil Affairs Bureau in 1 week. At the bureau, our number was about to be called, but Liam was nowhere to be seen. His phone was off. "Number 23, Evelyn Hale," a clerk called out. I rushed to the window. "Excuse me, can you move me to the back of the line? The other party hasn't arrived yet." "Look at the line behind you." "How can I do that?" "Either you re-register and wait for the next cooling-off period, or you give up your spot." "Another 30 days. Are you doing this or not? If not, let us go." "I can't stand to be with this person for one more second," a woman behind me grumbled. I hesitated for a moment, then grabbed my bag and left. I went to Liam's house. He wasn't there. Not at the office, not at his mother's. To avoid the divorce, he had simply disappeared. On the third day of his disappearance, a series of photos appeared on my phone. They were bed photos of Liam and Isabella. I knew instantly who had sent them. I had looked everywhere for him, except for Isabella's house. When he saw me, the three of them were having a meal together. "Evelyn, how did you know I was here?" "Liam, since you three are so happy together, why won't you divorce me?" "Evelyn, let me explain. I don't want a divorce because I love you. I was only here because I was afraid you'd find me." He grabbed my hand, apologizing profusely. "I was wrong. Let's not get divorced, okay?" I shook his hand off in disgust, opening my phone's photo gallery. "Is this your proof of love?" Seeing the photos, Liam understood. He glared at Isabella. "Are you not satisfied until you've completely destroyed my family?" "Liam, she doesn't love you anymore. You still have me and Leo. Can't we just be a happy family?" "Daddy, I want you and Mommy to be together. All my friends have a mommy and a daddy. Why do mine have to be separate?" "Daddy." Isabella and Leo each clung to one of Liam's arms. "Liam, this is evidence of your adultery during our marriage. I can sue for divorce directly. Thanks to Isabella's photos, I wouldn't have to be dragged along by this man any longer." Liam sneered. "I didn't cheat. Isabella and I were married before. What's sleeping together once in a while? It's not like we haven't done it before." My eyes were truly opened that day. You never really know what kind of creature you've married until the very end. "Liam, not only are you legally illiterate, you are utterly disgusting." The divorce went smoothly this time. The moment my marriage certificate was replaced with a divorce certificate, a long, heavy breath I didn't know I was holding escaped me. Lily was now eating and sleeping well, a healthy, happy baby. I was relieved and ready to hire a nanny and get back to work. But the day after I found a job, my parents arrived on my doorstep with their luggage. "Evelyn, why didn't you tell us all this was happening?" Seeing their gray hair, knowing they were worrying about me at their age, filled me with a sorrow I couldn't name. "Mom, Dad, it's okay. It's all over now. I was planning to bring Lily home to surprise you when she was a little bigger." After seeing Lily, my parents announced they were staying to help me take care of her so I could focus on my work. My strong business acumen had been key to starting the company with Liam. In my new job, I signed a major contract within a few months. The CEO promoted me to department head and arranged a celebratory dinner. As we were celebrating, a call came from home. Lily had a high fever. The seasons were changing, and despite all my precautions, she had gotten sick. It was pouring rain outside, and catching a cab was impossible. As I stood anxiously on the roadside with my umbrella, a black car pulled up in front of me. I glanced at the license plate. It wasn't the rideshare I'd called. As I was about to move aside, the window rolled down. It was the CEO, Marcus Shaw. "Where are you going?" "I'll give you a ride." "It's impossible to get a car in this weather." I didn't hesitate. Getting to the hospital was urgent. Because of the rain, the roads were slippery. On their way to the hospital, my mother had slipped and twisted her ankle. My father had to take her home, leaving me alone at the hospital with Lily, who was on N4 drip. "Mr. Shaw, thank you so much for today. It's very late, you should head home," I said. He had been a tremendous help, paying for things and picking up medicine. "It's all right, I'll stay with you. As you said, it's late." I wouldn't feel right leaving you two here alone. If something happens, I can help. He added with a small smile, besides, I'm single. No curfew. Marcus was in his early 30s. My interactions with him had been purely professional, mostly during 2 business trips. But he had helped me a great deal. At a dinner with a major client, he had taken drinks for me because I had a slight fever, even postponing a negotiation. I hadn't thought much of it then, but his words tonight made me wonder if he had feelings for me. Fearing I was overthinking it, I tried to maintain a professional distance. Perhaps from holding Lily for so long, my arms had gone numb. I kept shifting my position, which woke her up. Let me hold her for a while. You rest, Marcus offered, reaching for her. I started to refuse, but her cries were disturbing the other patients, so I handed her over. Lily, who had been wailing just moments before, quieted down within minutes in his arms. I smiled. I didn't know you were so good with children, Mr. Shaw. I've been beaming my sister's kids since they were babies. I guess I have a way with them. Dada. Lily had just started making sounds recently. Even saying mama was a struggle sometimes. I don't know why she chose that moment to say dada. Though the word was unclear, it was unmistakable. I froze, instantly embarrassed. I heard news of Liam again 6 months later. He had missed 2 months of child support payments, and his phone number was disconnected. I found out about his situation through a mutual friend. After our divorce, Isabella had taken my position at the company, and Liam's mother had been pressuring him to remarry her. He had resisted at first, but eventually wavered. Isabella, however, kept stalling. Her incompetence at work, coupled with her bossiness, drove away several veteran employees. The company's business tanked, and it was constantly losing money. Liam's savings had been mostly spent by Isabella. One day, Leo got sick with a fever, and Isabella was nowhere to be found. She wasn't answering her phone, and none of her friends knew where she was. She returned a month later, offering no explanation other than that she'd been traveling abroad. Liam didn't believe her and started following her secretly. He caught her with another man. Isabella, what is the meaning of this? He had screamed. You said you wanted us to be a family. You really can't change who you are. I was a fool to trust you. Isabella shoved him away. You chose to believe me. That's on you. You couldn't resist temptation, so what are you blaming me for? When Liam tried to hit her, the man with her kicked him to the ground, pressing a foot firmly on his chest. I don't care what you were to her before. She's my woman now. You'd better stay away from her, or I won't mind crippling you. Isabella, you bitch. Before Liam could finish, the man kicked him hard in the stomach, and he curled up in pain. Isabella, linking arms with her new man, looked down at him. Seeing as you're so pathetic, I'll tell you one more thing. Leo isn't your son. Later, Liam's company went bankrupt. Isabella took Leo and left. Liam's father had a stroke from the stress. His mother, who had always doted on her grandson, had given all her money to Isabella to facilitate the remarriage. A lawsuit to get it back failed. Half a month after her husband was hospitalized, she died of a sudden heart attack. Hearing about the past 6 months of the Thorne family, I could only feel a sense of weary pity. I stopped trying to get child support from Liam. But 2 months later, the payments started coming again. The next time I saw him was at Lily's 2nd birthday party. Marcus was holding Lily, and I was walking behind them. Shortly after we entered the private room at the restaurant, I got a call from a delivery service. A gift Marcus had ordered for Lily had arrived. A few minutes later, there was a knock on the door. Hello, a delivery for you to sign for. Hearing the voice, I looked up. It was Liam. He froze when he saw me, his eyes immediately flying to Lily. Marcus must have recognized him too. An unspoken understanding passed between us. After a minute of silence, Lily, probably frightened by the stranger's intense stare, started crying and reached for Marcus, wailing, Daddy. I saw Liam's eyes turn red. He ducked his head, wiping at his eyes, and mumbled, Please remember to leave a 5-star review, before turning and leaving. After dinner, the restaurant manager stopped us, handing over a gift box. A delivery man left this earlier. He said it was for the child. Marcus and I exchanged a look. We both knew who it was from. I took the box and put it in the car. As I fastened my seatbelt, I glanced in the side mirror and saw Liam standing a short distance away, silently watching us. As our car pulled away, it was as if his support had been kicked out from under him. He crumpled to the pavement, his shoulders shaking with silent sobs. Only when you've lost everything do you finally understand how precious what you once had truly was.